Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Happy hump day, y'all. It is Wednesday. We are almost to the weekend, y'all. Time is just going fast, but we are almost to the weekend. While you are here, go ahead and show your girl some love by liking the video and hitting subscribe if you are feeling the vibe. Those interested in my personal channel, I just uploaded 5 remote jobs that are hiring. Okay, so if you are looking for remote work or you know someone looking for remote work, make sure you click on my channel. I have 3 start dates, y'all. One is like July. Let me look real quick. One is July 14th, one is July 23rd, and one is July 21st, okay? So make sure you go ahead and apply and get tapped into these jobs. If you are looking for remote work or you know someone looking for remote work, I will have my personal channel linked in the comments below, plus story time life updates. I think I'm going to vlog this weekend, but all of that lovely stuff is on my personal channel, okay? Today's video, y'all, is going to be another witchcraft slash spell compilation. Now, it's only 2 stories. I was going to include 3, but the last story, baby, get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready, because when I tell you, this is crazy. Like, it should be a movie, like how crazy this is. But because it's so long, the last story, I just included the 2 stories and didn't do the 3 because this video already is going to be a little longer. So y'all get ready for this. This is good. This is good, y'all. So without further ado, go ahead and watch. Y'all know if there's any curse or anything like that, I edited out. So if you want the full unedited version, just type in their TikTok handle, which is always on the bottom left in TikTok, and it'll pop up for you. Okay, so without further ado, go ahead and watch. I will be back because y'all know we're going to talk about it.
Before you do a love spell on that man, make sure you watch this video first. We're gonna call the person who submitted this story Julia. I am back with another spooky story. So like many others, Julia was scrolling through TikTok when she came across various love spells. Intrigued, she decided to try not just one, but multiple spells. A love spell, a binding spell, an obsession spell, and a third-party removal spell. The target of these spells was a co-worker named Juan, with whom Julia worked with at a warehouse. Julia says the first love spell took effect almost immediately. She noticed a change in Juan's demeanor. His eyes seemed different, and he expressed his love for her more intensely. As their relationship deepened, he decided to move in with Julia, and Julia herself agreed. Initially, everything was perfect. However, as time passed, Juan's behavior started becoming possessive. He couldn't bear to be without Julia, insisting on constant communication even during work hours. On their separate days off, Juan would wait outside for Julia. He would wait outside the workplace for hours. And that's when she realized that the obsession spell had taken hold. The third-party removal spell also appeared effective, as he wanted to be with her exclusively, moving in shortly after. No one caught Juan's eyes but Julia. Julia says his possessiveness escalated to the point where she couldn't even move or even use the bathroom without him accompanying her. And when Julia expressed that his behavior was overwhelming, he reacted violently. He pulled out a pew-pew on her. Initially, he threatened to do it to himself, but then he flipped the pew-pew on Julia, declaring that if he couldn't have Julia, then no one else could. Terrified, Julia pleaded him to stop, assuring him that she would never leave him. He made Julia promise to never leave him, and out of fear, Julia complied. Julia says despite of the danger, she stayed, and each time she would try to leave, he would threaten her with the pew-pew, reinforcing that she too was trapped. The abuse became physical. He would not only hit her, but he would often use the pew-pew as a means of intimidation. One day, while he was out, Julia came up with an escape plan. She called her mother for help, and during the call, he had unexpectedly returned. And he became immediately suspicious of her actions. You trying to leave, ho? She managed to convince him, though, that she wasn't planning anything, and eventually, he left again. And seizing the opportunity, Julia locked all the doors and waited for her mother to come. He returned once more, but this time, all the doors were locked, so he couldn't come in. He shouted threats, accusing her of trying to leave him, and he was making sure that she knew if you are trying to leave, it ain't gonna be so easy. When her mother finally arrived, she left with her mother and never looked back. She had to move out of the apartment and relocate for safety. Julia says, ironically, we worked together and he filed a restraining order against me. So he filed a restraining order against Julia, falsely claiming that she had threatened his life. When in reality, Julia says it was actually the opposite. She says she prayed to her ancestors, asking them to remove the spells that she had casted. Since then, she's continued practicing magic, but vowed never, ever, ever to do another love spell on another person. She says she learns that love spells rarely result in positive outcomes. Wow, Julia, thank you so much for submitting this story. Thank you so much for submitting the story. If you have a spooky story that you want me to tell, please feel free to submit it to me either on my TikTok DM or my Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram just so that I know that it's real, duh. And while you're at it, subscribe to my YouTube channel for longer, better, and spookier stories. Like I say in every single video, I love you by abducted humans from your favorite Haitian homegirl.
Okay, so I have a lot of people who have asked me what happened to my neck, and I pretty much ignored them because yes, I was stabbed in the neck, but they want to know like what happened, and I wasn't ready to talk about it. Like that was something that I was still healing inside from because that caused a lot of emotional trauma for me. But I think I'm ready to talk about it. I will say, people always ask me why I don't offer love magic and love spells and stuff. Well, my story will explain why not to play in love magic, why not to take people's free will, why not to make a man feel like you can make a man stop cheating with no consequences and things of that nature. So it started out, I was in an amazing relationship with the guy from New York, and everything was going good. We had finally moved together. We were staying together. Everything was good. I wasn't into magic. This was like 10, 11 years ago. I wasn't into magic. At the time, I had just started finding my way into magic. And as I started finding my way into magic, everything kind of pretty much, it created friction between me and him. It was like my spirit guides and stuff, the more I got tapped in with them, the more they were pushing us away from each other. Like now I know he didn't belong. Now I know he wasn't good for me. But then you couldn't tell me that. So once I started my spiritual journey, I started to notice we started becoming distant a little bit. And then I noticed he was cheating. So I didn't even say nothing to him about it, the cheating or whatever. I basically pretty much wanted to do some magic. So I went to a person who I knew was a reader at the time, but now I know she's a scammer. But at that particular time, I did not know. But, and I asked for some advice, and she said, hey, you do this, this, and this, and it'll keep him with only eyes for you. Boom, I did it. Don't get me wrong, and it worked. Like, within a week, I saw changes. Like, literally, within 2-3 days, I saw changes. It worked, and it worked so fast, it kind of scared me. Boom, he wasn't cheating no more. Like, yeah, like, he was all extra loving and caring. The phone, like, I ain't have to wait till he go to sleep to go through that phone. Like, nothing. He was just leaving it. Like, he didn't care. He didn't have a can to work because he had nothing to hide no more. But everything was going good for about 2-3 months. And then he turned abusive. Like, it was like he went from loving me and only me to, bitch, he hated my motherfucking guts, okay? He whooped my behind day after day after day. And so now I'm trying to fix this. Like, whoa, let me run back over here and get some more magic because this got to be fixed. Yeah, this ain't right, baby. And I ain't finna keep taking it. And it was crazy because I've never been the type of person to let nobody put their hands on me. I've never been the type of person not to fight back. I've never been the type of person to not defend myself. And for some reason, I could not hit this man back to save my life. And I was confused. So I went to Spirit, got a little reading consultation at that time. And basically, I was told that it was my punishment. My punishment for taking his free will and making choices, because cheating is a choice. And as bad as you're in love with somebody, you want to control what they're doing. Like when it comes to that kind of behavior, you feel like if I'm not doing nothing, you shouldn't be either. But it's still a choice. So when you take that choice from somebody, that's taking their free will. So they told me, they was like, you created this. You took his free will, basically. So these are the consequences that you have to deal with, and we're going to let you sit in it. You need to learn from it. Boom. I go home like, okay, all right, yeah, I'm learning, all right, yeah, and start Googling. This is why I be telling people stop Googling stuff, because Google can lead you into a world of trouble that you can't get yourself out of, especially spiritually. But started Googling spells and how to control and how to tame and how it would put me back in control, how it would stop him from beating on me and all this. And boom, I'll be back with part 2 in a second, because I gotta do something. I just got a notification saying my package is downstairs. Part 2 on why I don't deal in love magic and why and what basically happened to my neck. So basically, like I said, I went home and I started Googling stuff, and I found like 2 or 3 decent spells. And y'all, I bought the stuff. My boyfriend, he was a big time drug dealer, so he was selling drugs. He was out with his homeboys or whatever, doing what they do. So I bought the stuff. I did it exactly what it said, disposed of it exactly how it told me to. Boom. Also, I asked for protection, like, can y'all protect my relationship, but also protect me, because I'm tired of getting beat on. Y'all, he didn't come home that night. Same night I did that and I asked for all this, he did not come home. So, not realizing that was my protection right there to keep him from beating on me, I'm in an enragement now. Like, he didn't come home. Oh, whatever I just did, it done really messed stuff up. He ain't never not came home. Even when he would cheat, he ain't never not came home. But he wouldn't cheat no more, so I wasn't even worried about that. But, like, he ain't came home. So now, like, he wouldn't cheat no more. So I'm thinking I done did Google told me to do. And now I'm thinking I done flipped what he wasn't doing back to what he, like, basically back to doing it again. Like, I'm all this wrong, like, just bad stuff just running through my head because he didn't come home. Like, he never not came home. So I was confused. I was mad. I was angry. Oh, baby, that sent me in a rage. Because now I call myself, I'm going to the cemetery. I call myself doing this and doing that. Like, just making reckless decisions. So the next day he comes home. He comes bringing me gifts. He comes, like, hey, I was out all night. Like, I just wanted to, do something nice for you because I had a real good night. And, like, I wasn't doing nothing. So I don't want you to think I was doing it. But I was, like, I had a good night, hustling. So, boom. I ain't think too much of it. I was just like, so in my head, oh, what I did, it worked. Yeah, it worked. But, so now he not beating on me no more. But now it's like he is obsessed with me. Like, yeah, I wanted love, but like I didn't ask for this kind of love. Like, you think you want someone who is obsessed with you until you actually get somebody who is obsessed with you. Real obsession is dangerous, okay? This man was obsessed with me. If somebody looked at me, even if another female could say I'm pretty, he would be ready to, like, he would literally put his hands on people for giving me a compliment, male, female, it did not matter. He was obsessed with me and jealous. Like, any little thing, if somebody looked at me for too long, he was attacking them. Like, it became overbearing. Like, I was scared to breathe almost. Like, yeah, he not being like this to me, but he's so, how should I put it? Like, gone. Like, it scared me because he could flip at any moment. So, like, after a good 3 or 4 months of this, I'm literally at the point now, like, I didn't sign up for this. I don't want this no more. I get my stuff and I disappear while he out hustling. I'm gone. I go to the other side of town. Back, I was hustling, so like I had my, I was escorting, but then not just that, like I had stopped escorting, but so I was just strictly doing my like fraudulent stuff, and so I could move anytime I got ready, whatever I wanted to. I could always get an apartment. I could always do whatever I needed to do, no matter what the circumstances were, and I could just do it at the drop of a dime because I didn't have to go to nobody. I could do it myself. I ain't have to come off no money to nobody because everything I could do myself. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get me a room on the other side of town just for like a couple of nights, just so I can, do what I need to do, make what I need to make, and, go get me an apartment away from him. I thought, y'all, I go to the hotel and go to sleep. Tell me how this man finds me. I don't know how he finds me. I wake up to bamming on the door like, I know you in there. I know you in there, bitch. Open the door. Like, stop playing with me. If you in there with a nigga, both of y'all gonna die. And this and this. And like, I was terrified. I did not open the door. And he bammed and he bammed and he bammed. And I crawled in the bathroom and called the police. It was like some guy that I know was banging on my door and threatening to kill me and all this. But by the time they got there, because it took forever, baby, if like a bitch was in need at that moment, baby, I probably would have been deceased fucking with them, okay? I'm just put it like that. But he bammed it and he finally went away. But I was scared to go out. I was scared. I'm glad I had some food already in there because, like, I didn't want to do nothing. I was terrified, like, thinking he was going to be waiting for me when I got out the door. So, boom. When it was time to check out, I was like, boom, I'm going to sneak on to another hotel, but I'm going to do it the night before it's time for checkout, and boom. By that time, I was just waiting, like after like 2 days, I was just waiting on the apartments to call me back. They ended up calling me back in like a week, but I never ended up moving in the apartment because he practically made me come back home. But like, so I called myself a move late, in the middle of the night, and I kid you not, this ninja, y'all, he literally was like, when I got to the other hotel, he caused a scene. So then they wanted to let me check in. I felt helpless. Like, I ain't had no Uber. I had left the car. I ain't have, like, I couldn't call another Uber because as soon as he see me trying to order an Uber, that's going to be a problem. But then, as soon as the Uber get there, that's going to be a whole nother issue. So it was just like I felt helpless. So what did I do? I went back home. So then it turned into, so you was trying to leave me. And when I say he beat me so bad, he beat me so bad. Like, I think they call it what, domestic violence victim syndrome or something. I feel like that's what I had at that point after that, because like I became like a robot. Like I was just programmed, and I was scared. Like I walked on eggshells. And so I dealt with that for like another 4 or 5 months, and I left. This time I got away, but I had to leave the state completely. I had to leave Arizona completely. So I left for like 6 months, and then I was like, I missed Arizona, I'm going back. So I went back, but I didn't move back with him. I didn't even tell him I was coming back. He was blocked on everything. So, I'm thinking I'm good. It's 6 months. I done changed my number. I done lost all connections. I made sure anybody connected to both of us, they was gone and removed. I made sure he couldn't see none of my stuff. I made sure I didn't add nobody new. I had everything private. Like, I just knew I was good. I moved back to Arizona. 3rd day in apartment, I get a knock on my door. Not, like, I'm good, so, I'm just not thinking. Instead of even saying who is it, I'm expecting some packages as well as I was expecting my furniture delivery. So I just naturally opened the door. Why I opened the door and my heart dropped. He was like, but I thought you could get away from me. Y'all, I'll be back with part 3. Like, yeah, this part 3 is where it get real.
Part 3 of why I don't deal in love magic and what happened to my neck.
I know it's been about a week. I had to get myself together for part 3. Like, every time I kept trying, it just didn't work. But I think I'm ready now. Part 3 on why I don't deal in love magic and what happened when I got stabbed in the neck. So I think on part 2 I left off at when I had left Arizona, and then I had came back and I had just moved into the new apartment. And 3 days after moving into the apartment, I got a knock at the door. Basically, it was my ex at the door. Like, I didn't, check to see who was at the door. I just opened it because I was expecting deliveries from packages, as well as I was expecting my furniture to be delivered. So, boom. So he was like, basically, I thought I could get away from him. I tried to leave him or whatever. So, y'all, I got my whooped again. Yes. Even worse. When I say he whooped me before, like, yeah, it was bad, but this one was like one of the worst. Like, I didn't even want to take a picture. I didn't want to be seen. It took about a week for my eyes to get back right. Yeah, it was bad. But so long story short, after that, I wasn't allowed to pretty much stay anywhere by myself. He was with me everywhere I went. He would not, if he had to go do something, I had to go with him. He was not leaving me by myself. He was not taking a chance of me leaving again. So him and his homeboys or whatever, because, he's from New York. So he done made new homeboys down here. I done introduced him to a lot of people. He done made his own little friends and stuff. So him and his homeboys, they had a little extended stay type, but it was like apartments in the Phoenix. They rent like apartments, like little, 1-bedroom apartments and stuff, like a hotel, but it was called the Budget Suites, and that's where they was trapping from. And, oh yeah, I'm sorry, my cheek itching. But so, that's where they trap from. So when he would go there to trap, I had to go too. Mind you, he had made me ride with him to move out his stuff in the house. So then when they, were going over there to trap, he got a whole suite just for us. And basically we took some of the stuff from home. Like, from the apartment, we took some of his stuff, some of my stuff. And basically, so when he was trapping, he knew where I was. Eyes was on me. They is right next to their trap spot. So he always could monitor my every action like I'm some kind of child. Because he was refusing to let me get away from him again. So, boom. Everything's starting to get okay, but I'm still walking on eggshells. I'm still terrified for my life. I'm still, scared of him. And next thing you know, we start arguing because I started going at him about it okay, so you make me come over here and all of this, but now you're not even coming home at the end of the night. We got the extra room over here. You say, I got to stay over here with you. So why are you not coming in at night? Why are you staying out all night? So we was arguing. He wasn't even cheating at this point in time. He wasn't cheating. He was out. It came out in court for the stabbing in my neck. It came out in court that he basically apologized to me. He was very remorseful. He said he had started getting high. So apparently when he was in New York, one of the girls that he was dealing with had him doing stopped and got himself together when he came to Phoenix. So I had no clue that when he was over there he was doing meth. Like, I would have never knew. But come to find out, I was the reason he stopped, because he had asked me about it, I was like, no, that's not my thing. I don't do that kind of stuff. And he pretty much was like, okay, like, I was just asking, you know, I sell it and I don't want to be with nobody that sell it. That was his story. But the whole time, apparently when he was in New York, he was getting high on his own product. So, but it came out in court or whatever that he was high. He was staying out all night because he didn't want to be around me high. He knew it was going to cause fights. He knew that I was going to go out because I wasn't going for the baby. Who? I'm not being with your base. Are you crazy? So we get into an argument. But we arguing every day. It don't get physical though. We arguing like every time he do come home after like 2 or 3 days. But it don't get physical. We argue. He come home. He take a shower. He eat and he go to sleep. He wake up and he leave. This is like repetitive. So like 2 days after Christmas, you know, a couple of months go by this. We sat there for like about 6 months going through this. About 2 days after Christmas, this happened, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been like 5, 6 years now that this happened. But 2 days before Christmas, 2 days after Christmas, 2 days after Christmas, he came home like normal. You know, he had been coming home every night from the night before Christmas to the day after Christmas. Then the second day after Christmas, when he did come home after staying all night, like, it was like a demon walked into the little suite or whatever, like literally. So he came home, like, I'm avoiding him because like it's just this look in his face, in his eyes. Something ain't right. So I'm avoiding him, and it sent him overboard because I ain't talking. I'm just staying away, just staying out of his way. When I say he lost it. So we arguing, we fussing, we fighting. I runs to grab my purse. I runs to grab my phone. I'm just like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. Not holding me hostage anymore. I'm fed up. I'm done. I'm leaving. This man say, you're the best girlfriend I have ever had. You have motivated me. You have really pushed me to become a better version of me. Like, I've never experienced a girlfriend like you that actually cared about me. You're not going nowhere. The only way you leaving me is in a body bag. I wasn't hearing none of that. I was tired. So I took that first step out the door. Boom. As soon as I take the first step, I feel something hit me in the neck. I'm thinking, you know, like he grabbing me or something. But then I realize I feel something warm and I see blood just gushing. Security for the little budget suites just happened to be walking by when it happened. Thank God. He immediately called 911, but got him away from me. And it was like Michael had saw a ghost. After he did it, he froze, like with a blank stare on his face. He dropped the knife and he took off running. Security dude sat with me. It was an older lady and an older man. I'm thankful for them. They kept praying and they just kept talking, like, you know, stay awake. And like, it's to the point that blood is gushing so bad, my mouth is filling over. I'm choking on my own blood. So I'm desperately trying to call my mama and tell her like what's going on. Blood is all over my hands. Blood is all over my phone. I keep wiping my phone on my shirt, and I finally get it, and I hit speakerphone, and I'm like, Mama, Michael stabbed me, and that's all I can say. And I hear my mama Like, oh my God, what's going on? Whatever. The ambulance get there. They put something on my neck just to stop the bleeding on the surface or whatever and hold it in so I'm not bleeding out. And they was like, we gotta rush her to the hospital now. Like, we don't have time to talk. None of that. Just get her in the ambulance and let's go. My mom is on the phone like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm hearing her, but I feel like my mom's voice kept me alive. Like, if I hadn't got my mom on that phone, I felt like I would have died. But she's like, what's going on with my baby? What's going on? Can y'all tell me something? They're like, ma'am, we trying to take care of her. The hospital will call you. Boom. I get to the hospital. All I remember was them brushing me in the back, doctors and everything waiting on me. They cut all my clothes off. I remember they stuck something in my leg. I remember screaming, and that's all I remember after that scream. Screaming and passing out. And the time is up on this video, so I'll be back with part 4. Hey TikTok, it's me, Azani C's, and this is part 4 on why I don't deal in love magic and what happened to my neck. I think I left off at part 3, where after he had just me, I was in the hospital. They cut all my clothes off. I remember them in the leg, like my thigh area, with something like it looked like it was yellow. Oh, excuse me, it was yellow and black. That's all I remember. I remember screaming, and then I remember just passing out. So after that happened, I guess I went into surgery because I woke up 4 days later in ICU. And I woke up freaking out because I did not know where I was. I had tubes down my throat, which are very painful, by the way. I had woke up with tubes down my throat, freaking out or whatever, like trying to scream and couldn't scream. And then the alarm started going off. Like, you know how when you're in the hospital and something's wrong and a thing started beeping and going off, that started happening. So all the nurses and doctors started running in, and they were trying to calm me down. They were like, they couldn't take the tube out until I calmed down. No matter how, I'm just coming back too. I don't know about none of this, so I'm just like literally freaking out. They had to sedate me to calm me down. Finally got the tube, they calmed me down. Finally got the tube took out. When that tube came out, oh my God. When I say that is the most painful thing. My throat was sore for probably a good 2 weeks after that. And I was still coughing up mucus and blood and different stuff from the tube being in my throat. So I woke up. But before I woke up, all I remember, I don't remember anything. Energetically, I remember happening when I was passed out. Well, when I went into surgery or whatever. I don't know. I feel like, because I remember it clear as day, it was like my soul walked out of my body, literally, and another soul came in. I remember waking up, literally, after the other soul came in. So it's like my spirit completely left my body, and another spirit came in, and I woke up. So as I was explaining this to one of my mentors, she said that was a walk-in, like basically my soul was not ready to go. Like I had so much more stuff to do. So a walk-in spirit traded places with my spirit to ensure that I could continue on this journey. Long story short, I was in the hospital for 38 days, I think. But they first moved me to the medical ward. So y'all, I had this, the cut was small, but after surgery, I had like this big, huge thing. I had some kind of stent thing out of my neck with a drain stitched to the end for the fluid and stuff to drain out. So I still had a hole in my neck. I had this thing stitched to my neck. My jugular vein was stitched to it because he stabbed me straight through my jugular vein. So they had to repair my jugular vein. The doctor said he had never did this surgery. It was his first time. He learned about it in med school and he tried it to save me. And I'm thankful. Long story short, I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't drink anything. I was getting frustrated because, my mouth was so dry from not being able to eat and drink after a couple of days and stuff, and I was on a feeding tube. So I was sneaking and trying to drink water to the point that they had to disconnect the water in my room. And I was crying, and I couldn't wash my own. My auntie had to come wash me, give me baths and stuff every day. But when I would drink the water, it was coming out of my neck. So just imagine you drinking some water and you getting a few sips, but the rest of it just coming on out your neck, like literally. But let me tell you about this Negro. After he had stabbed me in the neck, why this man came to the hospital to try and see me before they caught him? He literally ran from the scene or whatever before the police get there. But I don't know how he found out what hospital I was in. Like, I swear this man was intuitive, a magician or something. Somebody was telling him something because he could always find me. I just don't know. But this man came to the hospital trying to see me. But they had it set up because of the type of case and the police and stuff. They had it set up where if you did not have a certain password that they had set, which they gave to like my mom and stuff, you can get access. And then once they realized that it was him, it was too late because he was already gone, but they called the police up there immediately. Why would you come try and see me after you just damn near took me out of here? And he was begging and pleading with the people to let him see me. And they was like, do you have the password? And he said no, so they wouldn't let him. So he finally turned away. So then the police came back up there that day. To every nurse, doctor in St. Joseph's in downtown Phoenix, St. Joseph's Hospital, some of the nurses were kind of unpleasant, but for the most part, the nurses were very pleasant. They were very caring and understanding, and the doctors as well. But it was about 2 nurses that, bitch, if I wasn't in that situation, I would grab the bitch by their neck. But for the most part, I would like to thank every nurse and every doctor at St. Joseph's Hospital in Phoenix that contributed to saving my life and caring for me after saving my life. Y'all, I owe the world to y'all, and all I'm gonna say is, even though it's a Christian hospital, they're still good people. They did not judge me for being trans. They did not treat me any different from any other patient. They did everything they could to save my life. No judgment. They never disrespected me, and I really want y'all to know I wholeheartedly appreciate that. Boom. So, after like 38 days, I finally get out the hospital. Michael done went back to New York. They looking for him, but he know they looking for him, so he done ran back to New York. I'm watching the freaking news, y'all. Another trans girl was stabbed, but she died. And this happened in New York. So the suspect of interest, even though he had a mask covering like half of his face, when I saw the picture on the news, when they were looking if anybody had any information about who this person was, a person of interest in a murder, a stabbing that had took place in New York, my heart dropped because regardless of somebody having half of it, when you've been in a relationship like that with somebody, and when somebody has done something, you know that person, and then just the clothes that he had on, I know the clothes, the top part of his face, I was like instantly, that was Michael. I literally started boo-hooing, crying like that was Michael, like he literally has somebody else. He almost me, but he literally has one now. So, that had me messed up for a minute. I was calling and I gave them the tip. I sure did. I said, I know exactly who it is. Gave him his information and everything. Like 3 months went by. All of a sudden, some kind of way Phoenix got him. I don't know how they got him, but something transpired, and I got a phone call saying that they had arrested him and that he was getting booked into the Maricopa County Jail. And they asked me, was I willing to cooperate for court? At first, I was like, Then, I was like, yeah. I told him, yeah. Y'all, they released the man. They released the man on his own conscience or whatever. ROR, on recognizance, however you say it. Don't know why they released him, but girl, he ended up finding where I was at. And he came there and I felt helpless. So I ended up back with him after he had internet. And he's like, I ended up back with him for like another month. And then I got away again. I get away. He somehow get arrested. Thank God. He gets arrested. I'm talking and communicating with the attorneys and stuff. It's about to stop again. So I'm about to do part 5. Part 5 on why I don't deal in love magic and what happened to my neck. So I left off at where he had just got arrested again. The attorneys were communicating with me and talking to me, and they were asking, was I willing to prosecute? At first I was like, no. I was on the fence about it. Then I said, ooh. Then I said, yeah. I keep getting the hiccups. So I finally said yeah. And then boom. About 6 months went by before he actually got to trial. I was there for the first couple of court dates. Like I was going and I was going and I was going. Y'all, they offered, because he did not have a record in Phoenix, even though he had a record elsewhere in New York and a whole bunch of other places with all kinds of crazy charges. Because he didn't have a record in Phoenix, they let this man, they offered him a plea for 2 years in prison, 2 years probation, and no contact with me and restitution and all of that. I no longer wanted to cooperate with them after that. Like, I told the attorney, that was literally a slap in the face. Hell, I coded twice on the table while they were operating on me. I left that part out, but I coded twice while they were on the table operating on me. And you mean to tell me, because he has no record in Phoenix, y'all let this man plead out for this kind of charge with 2 years probation and 2.5 years in prison? Okay. So the attorney was like, well, I'll voice your concerns to the judge. I said, yeah, we don't even have to do that. It is what it is. He was like, will you be here? You gonna continue to come to court? I said, baby, y'all don't need me. If y'all will let him plead out to 2 years, y'all don't need me. I said, this is a slap in the face and I don't feel any kind of justice. So I didn't go back. They sentenced him. Michael went to prison. Michael got out of prison probably about a year ago. Got out of prison. He called me. I didn't even know he was out. Let me tell y'all how messed up Phoenix judicial system is. They supposed to alert the victims and all of that when people get out. Michael been out of prison for 2 weeks. I had not a clue till he knocked on my motherfucking door some kind of way. But I didn't open it. But he knocked on my door. And he was like, hey, I'm Christine. There's still no hard feelings. I love you. I miss you. I'm home. Girl, I played like I wasn't there. Didn't open the door. Got quiet as hell. I called the non-emergency number asking what I need to do. This is my ex who just got her, like, I'm in fear for my life. I'm explaining the situation. They say call his probation officer. They gave me the name of her and her number. I call her. The lady say, well, I know you're not lying because he's been out for 2.5 weeks and I forgot to even call you and inform you that he was out. I still hadn't got around to that. But he knows he's not supposed to have contact with you. And then the bitch gonna go on to say, I have to catch him in the act to be able to do anything. Okay. Me, that same night, packed all my stuff that I wanted to take with me, packed. Yeah. I left and didn't go back to Phoenix until I knew he was in prison. I left and didn't think twice about it. And at that point in time, I was still on probation. I did not care. Baby, I was not letting him finish the job. So he went back to his little halfway house, I guess, after he went. I don't know. I left. Y'all can't help me. I'm going to help myself and get the way. So, I said, baby, you already only got 2 years. You finna sit down. You had the audacity to come bother me yet again after I thought I was done with this. And I said, baby, I'm gonna get justice for the other girl too that you actually said basically she ain't getting no justice for it. Okay. Boom. Me went to the cemetery. Did a little necromancy. Even though I'm a medium, I know how to, I'm a necromancer too. Did a little necromancy. Found a spirit that was willing to put his back in there. He was on parole, so it was easy. I gave them exactly what they asked for. About 2 weeks after that, Michael going back to prison, violation of parole, dirty drug test, violating all his little terms or whatever. Boom. Michael got another 2 years. So they basically give him time again. And as he's been in prison, he's been messing up. So he continues to keep getting time at it because, baby, that's how I set it up just like that. Y'all don't want to give me no justice. So let me get my own justice. And that's what I did. So he's still in prison. I basically, I hit an afterthought now. Every time I get closer to him to get released, some more word. I'm not playing with him. But he'll never see the light of day again. If I got anything to do with it. You'll never see the light of day. They ain't had to give me no justice. I'm going to get my own justice. It's going to be at your own hand where you cause yourself to continue to have to stay in there. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. That's how I got in the neck. And it was all, like I say, love magic. And the spirit told me they was letting me, even when I was trying to go back and try and get it fixed. No, baby, you took that man free will. This is what you asked for. You ain't asked for all of this stuff, but these are the things kind of pretty much that you asked for. You wanted somebody obsessed with you. You wanted faithful. You wanted all these things. Obsession is dangerous. A lot of people don't realize that, but it's very dangerous. But like, you asked for all these things and you took this man free will. So now you think we're not going to let you deal with the consequences. Oh, no, baby. You got to sit in it. So now I know the dangers of love magic and what can transpire. And it's messed up because a lot of practitioners don't got no morals. All they see is a dollar sign. So if you want some love magic and this, they gonna do it. As long as you got their money and the right price, baby, they all over it. That's all they see. A lot of people are not here to truthfully help people. They're here for your money. So they don't care. It ain't affected them. They just there to get your coins. So they don't have no morals to tell you, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't know. They're gonna do it. Not all, but most. So this is the thing, people need to start asking these practitioners, what are the consequences, or doing research to find out, because a lot of them still ain't gonna tell you. When you ask them, they ain't gonna tell you. They're gonna lie to you. Oh, everything is gonna be okay. And you wonder why, after you go get this spell, now this man, he doing what you asked, but he whooping your. He's turned abusive. It's like he develops this hatred for you. All these things start going bad. Everything. It's the magic, baby. You can't take free will from someone and think that there are no repercussions or consequences. In any practitioner that tell you otherwise, I would watch them. I wouldn't trust my safety nor my life in their hands because they are misleading you and they're not being honest. So be cautious because love magic ain't no joke. And y'all, please, for the love of me, stay off Google looking for spells and stay off Google trying to find out information and rituals and all this stuff for spirit, because that ain't where you get it from. Google gonna have y'all in so much. Trust me, I've been there in my newbie days, done that, and I learned. Your best knowledge, one, comes from spirit itself. Your guides will teach you. They will. All you gotta do is ask them. If you're a medium, baby, they definitely will come teach you, work with you, everything. But your guides will teach you. Number one. Number two, not only will your guides teach you, Elders are very important. Credible elders who are healed and don't operate out of ego, hatred, and out of flesh. Elders who understand spirit. Elders who are reputable and have a good reputation with spirit. And that's it.
Okay, so now that y'all have seen those crazy stories, I told y'all they were crazy but good, right? The second one really could be a movie, right? Let's have the conversation about it. Y'all know, those who follow me, who have been following me, shout out to y'all, by the way. Y'all know I speak about spiritual health all the time, like all the time, because it's so important that we have the conversations about it. A lot of people are worried about their physical health, their mental health, their financial health, and as they should, right? But people don't talk enough about their spiritual health. And you don't realize if you are not spiritually healthy, then you are vulnerable to low vibrational entities, demons, whatever you want to call it, evil. You're more open to them. They have more open access. Now, they have a celebrity witch that spoke on this before. I think she was on the Tasha K show. I don't know. I remember where she was at, but she spoke about if there is spiritual protection over somebody, they can see it and they know that like their spells or whatever is not going to work. If it's a bad spell and stuff, then they know it's not going to work because they see the spiritual protection over that person. If you don't have spiritual protection over you and your kids, you are going to be more, prone to that kind of stuff happening because they're like, oh, well, there ain't no spiritual protection over here. I'm about to mess with this person. When otherwise they might see big old angels walking with you, or your spirit guides don't play that like, hey, not this one. You better go to the next one. Not this one. That is serious. You can't see the spiritual world, but it really does exist. Like this stuff is real. Just because you don't believe in it doesn't mean it's not happening, because I promise you it's happening. Okay. And people who are really tapped in, they know this. Okay. And before you get all in the comments, let me just say this before we speak about this, because I know people always do this. Please do not go in my comments and speak bad about anybody else and their belief systems. Obviously, people in this video might have had different belief systems. We are not here to judge anybody, and please do not be in my comments like, oh, well, you should be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. Please normalize and realize that not everybody was brought up the same way. People are from different cultures, religions, traditions. And just because you grew up a certain way and thinking your way is the only way, that's not true around the world. And people are from different countries, different heritages. Even people who look like me, my color, they still were raised different ways traditionally. Some people are more on the herbalist side or the cultural side, to where they don't practice certain religions. They actually practice other religions that we might see, some people might see as evil. Not me, but I'm just saying. Okay, so please respect everybody's belief system. We're not here to judge nobody. You can believe in what you believe in, but don't push that up on everybody else, because that's just not the reality for everybody else. Okay, so if I see it in the comments like bullying or anything like that, I will remove it. Okay, so you have to be spiritually protected, and I don't know if y'all remember this couple. Okay, I can't, the Frenchman, and they said her name is Duchess Dior. Okay. This couple, which of course y'all can see the ring light shadow, so I hope you can see them, but this is the couple that went viral. Some of y'all, probably most of y'all, have already seen it. They went viral. Long story short, he ended up unaliving her, then unaliving himself. Okay. You look it up. It's really, trigger warning though, trigger freaking warning, because it's a lot. It is a lot. Okay. But, basically they ended up saying that, they both in the live video said that they did love spells on each other. And when you're tapping into that and playing around with that, stuff like this happens. As you noticed, that story, even the stories that you just watched in the TikTok compilation, they all have something similar. You are practicing something to make somebody go against their will, when you should just let things naturally happen. Like the individual on the second story, she was talking about how the dude she was dealing with was cheating and all that, so she wanted to do his love spell, making them obsessed and all kind of stuff. Just like that person said, obsession is nothing to play with. Like, people be thinking that's cute. No, that's not cute. Like, let's normalize healthy love and healthy respect. If a man loves you and respects you, he's not going to cheat on you. He's not going to break your heart, intentionally hurt you, or any of these things. So you don't have to practice anything for them to be a way that they naturally aren't. If that person's for you, then they're for you. If they're not for you, then we have to normalize letting people go. Stop trying to change people who are not wanting to change. You can't change anybody. They have to be wanting to be the person they need to be. Men, naturally in their nature, they deal with temptation all the time because they are fleshly. Okay, women are too, especially nowadays, but they're very fleshly. So if they don't have the right moral compass and discipline and spirituality about them, then they probably are going to cheat because they're fleshly individuals. Where a lot of women, we kind of more preserve ourselves, for the person we actually love or whatever, but they can just mess with somebody they don't care nothing about and then go on about their day, so it's like you have to find a man who is disciplined. I spoke about this before. Like, stop holding on to people who want to be let go. Like, if that man has shown you red flags, let that person go. That's just not your person, and you have to trust the process. Like, y'all who've been following my journey, I speak about how I manifested my husband in my life. Like, literally, it's on my personal channel. The video is how I manifested my fiance, and I had to do a lot of inner work within myself because I was attracting what I was. So I don't blame any prior relationships. I was attracting what I was at the moment, which was low vibrational. I was on a low frequency, so that's why I was meeting low frequency people. But the moment I done the inner work within myself and I done things to put me in alignment with the higher frequency, then that's when I attracted a higher frequency person. And I don't have to deal with anything that I would have dealt with in my past relationships, any insecurities, worries, anything, because that man makes sure that I am protected and loved, and I feel it every time I am around him. You know what I mean? So you have to attract what you are. Don't try to tap into something you have no business tapping into to try to make somebody, force them to go against their nature. That's not who they are. They're not ready to be better. So let them be who they are and let them go. So I hate hearing these stories. They always, most of the time, end up bad. You got to just trust God and go and worry about you and be on your journey and ask God to send you your person, and stuff like this would not happen. Okay, so that's how I feel about this. Always be spiritually protected, y'all. I do like how the second story, she did take accountability for what she done. It was like, my ancestors was like, hey, this is what you did, this is what you get. Like, yeah, when y'all tap into that world, if you don't know, baby, you got to be ready tapping into that world, because you're going to deal with all kind of stuff, honey. And you're going to see all kind of stuff. And you might hear all kind of stuff, but you tapped into it. So you got to be ready for what comes to you. Anything you put on somebody, they always say it comes back times 3 if it's bad. You know what I mean? So you got to pay attention. Like, I would never recommend that you do put something on somebody that goes against their will. So let me know what y'all think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all in the next one.